Hi guys, how's it going? It's been a long time since I made a YouTube video, I think 5 years, but we're gonna try and reboot it up, talk about some clothing, talk about some running, talk about some cool stuff here. So if anyone's still around from 5 years ago, hello, I'm still around too. Today we're specifically gonna be talking about Bandit running, my Bandit running collection. Now, running is something I got into seriously a couple of years ago. I just wanted to do it a little bit more for fitness, and as somebody who's into fashion as well, I really gravitated towards looking into all these different brands that are fusing the fashion side of things with the technical performance fabrics that you require for running or really any other sport. Bandit's based out of New York. They've been running for a few years now. And what's great about Bandit is they are performing that notion of high performance fabric with more fashion forward styles, and it's really their marketing which propels them forward. There's not that many videos on Bandit clothing, so I thought there was a kind of gap in the market for me to showcase and review some of the more popular pieces and some of the pieces that I have. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So the first piece I have to talk about today is the Aries sleeveless distance top, or something about that it's called. And what it is, it's a sleeveless, snug fitting top. I think it's inspired by what we see in cycling. So it has this sort of very compressive fit on the top. I'm not sure what this fabric is called. I'll put it up in the video if I remember. Maybe it's their gridlock fabric, but it's almost this very stretchy two-way, four-way stretch, not sure which kind, material, with the little zipper on the front that you can zip up, zip down for some airflow. It has a foam pocket on the interior, which I haven't tried yet, but I'm assuming the foam might be a little sweaty. We'll see. And on the back, some Bandit branding and 4 different gel pockets, which I think is very interesting because there's not really a lot of tops, at least for men, that have storage options specifically for gels. So it makes this a little bit more suitable for race day or for some longer distance runs. Fit, it's very compressive, has some silicone grip tape at the bottom, and it's definitely a piece of clothing that you have to be very confident when you're wearing. It is very tight on the upper body, so there's that to consider. I have not raced in this or done any harder efforts in it yet, but definitely look forward to doing it more in the future. Aries distance sleeveless top. Next, we have the Micromesh long sleeve tee, and really the claim to fame is this Micromesh material. It's very breathable, it's very stretchy. It's a piece that I wear a lot. It's super, super comfortable. It's a material that you don't really see too often from some of the other brands as well, so it does make it a little bit more unique. Sizing wise, it fits relatively true to size, maybe a little bit oversized, but I don't think you really want this material fitting too tight to your body. And yeah, definitely have worn this a lot, and it's one of the pieces that Bandit makes both in long sleeve, short sleeve, and honestly I would recommend them both. So the Bandit Micromesh long sleeve t-shirt. We have a couple shirts that we're going to be talking about. I just kind of grouped them together as performance tees, so your basic graphic or non-graphic performance tee that Bandit makes. This first one in black is the A6 Bandit collab for the New York City Marathon in 2025. And this one is just another basic mainline beige tee. The reason why I grouped them together, materials are pretty similar on them both, or that dry fit, or whatever the non-branded name for dry fit is. There's slightly different paneling on them, but material wise, they're relatively similar. I would say that these are very good. Especially compared to some of the other sportswear brands. They are, I would say, a step above in terms of quality and in terms of fit. And durability is one thing. I've absolutely washed and worn these a billion times. They hold up perfectly fine. Small side on running gear, a lot of different brands tell you that you need to wash them a certain way or dry them a certain way. Always wash them regular. Don't do anything different to them. Sometimes for some of the other pieces, maybe the sleeveless tee or the tights or hats, I won't dry them, but everything else in the dryer. You know, you're going through these t-shirts multiple times in a given week. We don't got time to air dry everything. They held up perfectly fine. They're relatively true to size. I would say maybe a little bit on the slimmer side. Yeah, I really like the graphics as well on them. They're a little different, but overall, I would say they're very solid. If you just want a basic training tee, they're great. Are they a little expensive? A bit, so maybe don't go the whole wardrobe with them, but it's kind of nice to have a couple nice pieces here and there to mix it in, and these Bandit performance tees are definitely those. And last up, but probably most importantly, we have the tights. So I have two pairs of Bandit tights here, and they are the Superbeam half tights. They're Superbeam fabric. This is probably the most, dare I say, the most popular Bandit clothing piece. The reason why is simple: storage options. A lot of running gear doesn't have pocket options, and I really hate wearing a vest. I have one, but ideally if I'm not bringing water with me, I don't like wearing them. So that's where these tights come in. Two gel pockets on the hips on each side. We have one large pocket in the back and two large pockets down the side here. So I don't know what the math is on that, but that's like a lot of pockets, and some of the bigger pockets you can fit multiple different things in. Other notes about the fabric, it's this very slick fabric. In this taupe color, you can't really tell too much, but in the black one, it is shiny, like scuba almost material. So it definitely makes for a look that I wasn't quite used to. Another nice thing about them is they have this grip tape at the bottom. All it is like some silicone strips here that make sure they don't ride up or ride down. Now, performance-wise, like, I was not a believer in half tights before this. I did not wear half tights. I only wore shorts, but honestly, half tights are way better to run in. Just they keep things so much more contained. They're great, they're compressive. They're just a lot more comfortable, I find, than shorts, especially if you're doing something like a longer run, a harder effort. I've done all my races, my limited number of races in them. Durability wise, they're also amazing. Definitely something I would highly recommend for anyone out there. Lastly, the only other thing from Bandit I have currently is this nylon hat. This is again the ASICS New York City Marathon collaboration. Pretty good hat overall. I like my hats to have a little bit more of a curved brim. This is definitely more of a flat brim hat, but material itself, it's got this metallic nylon upper. The sweatband itself is just made of terry cloth, and it's a very lightweight hat. The back, we got like a regular buckle, adjustable, cinched. I'll even like toss it on. Fits pretty well. I don't know. I like wearing hats when I run. My hair gets in the way, it gets sweaty. It's just easier if I have that all contained in a hat. The sweat doesn't show or anything with it like some other hats. I have a snow peak hat, which just gets really ugly looking when you start running. So this hat in general, I would say, is like one of my favorite hats to run in. A lot of questions I used to have on, should I be washing and drying my hats? Like, wash 100%, just air dry it. I don't know how people hand wash hats. I think it takes like way too long. And for this one, I've had for probably a year now and had no issues with it. Bandit hat. Yeah, so that's it. That's my review of my Bandit running clothing accessory collection. Yeah, trying new things with this YouTube with different cameras and the mic setup. So if this video is questionable, hopefully the quality will increase. I want to be back on consistent on YouTube. I think maybe I just speak for myself, but there's a lot of different clothing that's really popular that doesn't really get reviewed too much on YouTube, and that's what I want to sort of bridge the gap with my channel. Any questions, leave it down below. Comments, leave it down below. I'm just rambling. That's all. Thanks, guys. We'll catch you later. Bye.